Designated Survivor, Episode 13, Backfire. Now, this episode focused a lot on kind of the secrecy involved with, conspiracies and all sorts of crazy secret government attacks going on. And I like that. I thought they tackled it pretty well from a couple of different perspectives. We have Kirkman, of course, being the president. He knows everything that's going on. We have our couple of agents that know as well. And then we have people really close to Kirkman where we have, people like his wife. She doesn't get to know everything that's happening. And even the press secretary of the United States, he gets bombarded by just some random journalists because we find out that there's a leak, which is actually exposed pretty early on in Silkstratton. And so he's getting attacked, during a press conference, and he learns the truth because there's certain things that people aren't really meant to know. So it was very interesting the way they tackle this one subject from multiple sides, where it's like the people are being lied to, and you have a vice president that's murdered and then his wife commits suicide afterwards. That's a big thing, in the government. So they have all these questions rising up within the government, without the government. And so I like the way that they handled that. I thought it was pretty well done. We get to see, and I'm trying to complete blank on his name, but we get to see our press secretary, Mr. Wright. I can't think of his first name. That's what I was trying to call him by his first name. But he kind of goes after this journalist who's a Pulitzer Prize winner, which I thought was pretty cool the way they handled that, where this is a man who won one of the highest honors you could possibly win on the entire planet. And it was just pretty cool. It's he's a disgraced winner, but he's still a winner. So there's still something that he has. And, he comes in, he's working with team mode and stuff like that, and he's in the White House. So it was pretty funny, but I like the way that they handled that idea. And I'm pretty sure that's not over. That was something that they touched on, but it didn't conclude in this episode. He's, kind of going at this guy to try to discredit him a little bit and say, this is, kind of what he's done in the past, even if he's won this grand award. These are some of the things that he's done, which have been, lawsuits and settlements and things like that because of the way that he goes about putting stories out there. So I thought it was pretty cool that they touched on that, and we get, kind of a different side to just how they're dealing with the press within the series and how that can lead to some more interesting concepts with those characters. So I thought that was pretty cool that they kind of went down that route a bit. We, of course, have Aaron in this episode who's told, I believe it's closer towards the end of the episode, he's kind of told to take a break because things have just been a bit crazy, and he may not have made the best judgment by telling Hookstratton what was going on, and of course her, releasing that information. So he takes this week-long break, and then the end of the episode, I looked at the guy named Langdon. He just comes along, and it's for whatever reason, he went to Aaron, which really surprised me. So I don't know what we're supposed to expect in this next episode, but I am looking forward to that. And everybody finds out. It's not like a big secret that's held on to. I'm sure they're just going to grab him in the beginning of the episode, and then it's what's going on? So I'm looking forward to some answers that we're going to be getting in the next episode. But going back to this one with Kirkman, his the family dynamic in this episode really shifted because his wife no longer believes that the White House is actually safe, because wherever he is, he's a target. They know that something, even without her being told extra information, she knows something really crazy is going on now. So she believes that their kids should be taken to, a much safer location, which unfortunately means that they're basically just going to be living on the base for a while. So that's what they end up doing after Kirkman decides it is, the best option, because he goes to see his daughter go to school, and she can't really hang out with friends or anything because she's got security around her, stuff like that. So it was pretty interesting the way they played around with that idea. So they're going to be out of the show for a little while. So I'm curious to see just how that's supposed to play out with him, just being alone in the White House. He doesn't have his family to lean back on. He's going to have to, phone calls and stuff. It's just not the same as having your family there to kind of help you out in those really stressful moments of being the president of the United States. So I'm excited to see how they play on that dynamic with those characters leaving the show for a little bit, or at least not being in the same location within the series for the rest of the season. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I wonder how they're going to play things out by the end of the season, because based on the promo, Kirkman is going to get the answer as to who is really behind this whole mess of wanting him killed and wanting him to have been the designated survivor to begin with. So I don't know, it's a promo, so you never know what we're really going to get in the next episode, but they make it seem like we're actually going to get a fairly significant answer. And I really hope we do, of course. But with it being this type of show, I wouldn't be surprised if he's about to tell them, or if that's not even, the same question and answer. Like, he asked that question and then the answer that we see in the promo is for a totally different question. So that could totally be the case, because they love to do promos like that to reel you in, even though you're already watching the show. But I hope we do get a legitimate answer in this next episode. But I certainly enjoyed this. I like what they did, like I said, as far as the dynamics for everything that's going on, and the leaks, and what is and what is not the truth, and how certain things are being hidden from the public, and how everyone's freaking out about it. It's like, we have this man in the office who, they mentioned in this episode when Wright goes out with his buddies, they talk about how they don't feel that he's qualified. We haven't had people kind of bring that up in a couple of episodes. It hasn't really been too long. It's just with the break, it seems like a long time, but I think it was only 3 or 4 episodes ago when they did that. I think it was like right before McLeish was like going to the ceremony to be sworn in. So it hasn't really been that long when you look at it that way. But they brought it up again. People are still worried that this is a man who's not really qualified to be in office, that sort of deal. And so they're worried about what's going on. And then, of course, the death of the vice president and his wife and the secrets going on there. It's like there's more to it than just they're at a cemetery and they died. So people are really freaking out, and I like the way they handled a lot of the different perspectives on the truth, or on the conspiracies of the truth in this episode. So I really enjoyed that. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts were, and do you guys think that we'll actually get a legitimate answer as to who is behind this organization, or just this whole plan in the next episode? Or do you believe that things are just going to be, one step at a time still? We'll just get, maybe a minute answer, something that's still good, because with the conspiracy this big, any answer is a good answer. So we'd love to know if you guys think we're going to get something really big, or if we're going to get just the next step in this next episode as far as reveals and the truth behind what the plan really is. And maybe, I doubt we'll get the whole plan. If we get anything, I highly doubt it would be like, this is exactly why you're designated survivor. This is exactly the whole plan and why they want to rule the government and stuff like that. So we'll see how that turns out. Another little thing that was in this episode, they realized what radicalized McLeish, which was the actual mission that he was on. We do find out exactly what happened there, so that was pretty good. That being a big secret, that was why he died. It was like, what in the world went on there? So we actually get that answer in this episode, which was pretty good. And it was interesting because I felt when they explained what the mission was, I was like, okay, I understand why that was covered up for sure by the government, because it was like, we have these soldiers that took a bunch of people out. But when you hear the story, it's like, yeah, that was a crazy situation for them, but they were, in a sense they were defending themselves, but they did kind of go nuts a little bit, because they were just taking out anyone and anything in their path. And then you see like how he came out as a hero because he saved those people with him, but they covered up everything that truly happened. And it was just interesting. I was like, I kind of get it. Like, it does make a little bit of sense, but at the same time, they did do some bad stuff. So it was just an interesting perspective, finally getting that answer. But like I said, I want to know what answers you guys think we'll be getting in the next episode, if they'll be really big, or just the next small answer. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.